Hi, this is Kim with Scholarly Pursuits. Welcome back to my channel. So today we travel to Warren, Ohio with my dad and my son Brandon, and we're going to visit the National Packard Museum. So if you followed our channel or followed my channel for a while, you know we've been to America's Packard Museum in Dayton, and now we are in Warren, Ohio. My dad loves cars. He was raised around cars. His dad owned a car shop when he was a child back in the 30s. And so we kind of, when we get a chance to find either trains or cars, we go and visit those. And today we were able to meet up with Brandon, and he is helping my dad with his scooter. If you've seen the other one, you know that that is a big part of our trip. My dad can walk, but standing sometimes is kind of a little difficult after a while. So join us on this trip. And then one of the things that you may find interesting is I'm going to include a story time for my dad. He talks about his past. He grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and so a little bit further on after we hear the hostess talk about the museum, when it gets a little quiet, I'll let my dad tell the story from his past. Enjoy, take care, please like, subscribe, and share. This is Kim of Church. Thank you.
That's part of it. Yeah, we're a community behavioral health facility.
Thank you.
Y'all have a blast.
Thank you.
Oh, it's working really well.
Oh yeah, this is the way to travel. This is the way to travel. It says what champions, AFC champions. Who is AFC champion?
Oh, the Bengals, yeah.
USFL, man.
What you ask?
Oh, wait, what? Yeah, we took over the American football conference.
Really?
Yeah, we won the AFC North, and then we won the AFC conference.
You all ready?
You didn't have how to make it open?
Not that I can see.
Hello.
Name Warren, Ohio, 1899 to 1903. How the company got started in Warren is on that pole with the big blue poster. Our new family exhibit is the family tree, the Packard family tree over there. We have 3 of the 4 years the cars were made in Warren. 2 are right here. The third one is where that red exit sign is on the wall, which used to be our old front door. We have that gray and black car down there. It's a Sterling Knight. It was one of 3 made in Warren. It was, they couldn't get financing here, so they moved to Cleveland, and they didn't do too well there either. So not too many were made. So that was donated to us, so we took it. Okay? Men's room is where the hubcap is on the wall.
You getting in, Brandon?
Yeah, I was just gonna take it
You
for
take
a
it for a
ride.
spin?
Let's see what's going on here.
Since Daddy doesn't seem to need it.
Oh yeah, you just do it like that.
Oh, yeah.
This goes too fast.
Daddy, this brings back memories.
I was in the house and I found this money. I said, where did you find the money? So, by and by, I was forced to tell her where I found the money. And I didn't get much farther with that because, my brother was standing right next to him. See, he was with her, I guess. And,
Is that Charles?
That's Charles. And of course, she made his day for me. First thing she said to him, go get me a switch. Took care of that. So he had done that many times. He got a switch when I told him. I told Charles to if he wanted to hurt his sister, to hit him in the stomach. And who told me that? I don't know. But somebody told me that if you want to hurt a woman, you hit her in the stomach.
And y'all were fighting, right?
Yeah, he was fighting with
He was fighting one of your sisters.
And I told him to hit her in the stomach.
Did he hit her in the stomach?
I think so. But they told my mother what I told him.
And you got in trouble?
Because I was agitated. So now they brought me into it. See, I was not in the fight.
That's probably the what happens when you're the youngest.
Yeah.
And because you egged him on,
Yeah.
you got in trouble too.
Well, he was fighting an older sister. So I imagine she was
Probably in the best of
She
them.
was holding on that one. Vivian is who he was fighting. Vivian and Velma. See, they teamed up. They don't fight alone.
Vivian and Velma against Charles by
Vivian and
himself?
Velma against Charles. I had to watch it.
And so you didn't help him, Joe. You didn't jump in and help him. You just gave him some advice.
I'm the youngest brother.
You said hit her in the stomach.
I told him, I did help him. I told him to hit her in the stomach.
Oh my
Because she's an older sister.
That's terrible. Okay. Hi, this is Kim again. So we just heard my dad recalling a story from his childhood where he and his brother Charles was the one next to him. I think he said they were about 8 or 9 years old. Well, actually, I guess there had been a fight. Charles was fighting his two sisters, and so Daddy just is recalling how he got in trouble for kind of his part in all that. So it's just so much fun as we go on these trips and hear some of these stories from my dad that we've never heard before, and sharing it with my siblings. And I'm hoping that you'll find some of the history of his family and my family legacy interesting, as well as we tour the National Packard Museum and the Packard family and all that they contributed to Ohio. Now, coming up, my dad is going to tell another story about when he played semi-professional football. One of his older brothers started a football team, and I know one time when he told us that, you know, your parents tell you these stories, and he was like, he played semi-professional football, and I was like, what? So anyway, he's going to share a little bit about the football team and what it was like to play for those football team and some of the things that happened and experience as a part of that. So there's so much, if you get a chance to visit this museum. I think it's about $10 for people to attend. It's a little less for seniors, of course, and kids. And we just spent a couple hours touring the museum. It's not real large, but it has a decent inventory. So Brandon, my youngest son, and my dad, we just kind of walked around and enjoyed an afternoon visiting this museum. And now you'll hear the rest of the story from my dad.
I believe formed the Tulsa football team. My brother was one of the founders of it, and he named the team the Tulsa Pages Records, not the Tulsa Pages Records, because our name was Page, and the team. And
this was James.
This was James, my oldest brother, and I think Oklahoma City, being a larger city than Tulsa, named theirs the Bulldogs. I believe they call it the Bulldogs, Oklahoma City Bulldogs. And we played a lot, of course, because there were only 2 teams in the state. But we had to go out of state to get more competition. So they went to places nearby, like Missouri, Joplin, Missouri, Kansas City, St. Louis, and they had good competition.
Now, what position did you play?
I played guard, but keep in mind, I'm a college student, a first-year college student, and I played guard. And I was not an outstanding guard for the Tulsa Hornets, but I did play football for them and basketball, and played for this semi-professional. Now there was no insurance, and if you had a big game, you might get $10, but usually you couldn't expect money. It was semi-pro, and looking toward like USFL right now, these competing professional football teams. In those days, they have to content themselves with having fewer resources, and that means less pay for the players.
But you said it was for after college. Age was after college.
After high school.
After high school. And some of the players would drink while they were playing, or after they played, or before.
That's true. That was not uncommon. That was fairly common. You would get dropout college players, or occasionally get a college player who tried out for pros. So you had that aspect of it. Like my brother played high school football. James, the founder of it, played high school football. But you would sometimes get some pretty talented people because they dropped out of high school or dropped out of college. But they played. Some went on to play pros, but were cut, during the first cut. And so that's the kind of element you had. So you had some talent, and they were growing and developing. But I found that the discipline was lacking because you didn't pay them anything hardly, and they'd come half high or get high while they were there, and you had that to deal with. And medical attention was unheard of. There was no provision for medical attention. You go home if you got hurt, and that takes care of that.
Where did you get your equipment and your uniforms, or you didn't have any?
I guess the team bought most of their own for whatever we had. If you had something left over from college or something, from high school, but there was no provision of uniforms.
For uniforms.
No, you bought your own.
And who was the coach?
I forget who the coach was,
Yeah.
but it was a person who had some background in coaching. All right, in the pros. See, like I was telling you about that Herbert went and played for the pros for a while. We had several players with Tuskegee. They went and played for either the pros or played for some went to Tuskegee and Elkhorn, and they had some nice football teams down south, black teams.
So, and you also said that one day y'all were walking home from school when you were in elementary or middle school.
Junior high school.
In junior high school. And you said the high schools, what were the name of the high schools again? Well, all the schools. We're all within walking distance.
Yes, Booker T. Washington was the senior high school. George Washington Carver was the junior high school, and Paul Lawrence Dunbar was the elementary school, grade 1 through 6.
Oh, were all your teachers black?
Oh yes, there was no one in physical class.
And you said there was a amusement park there.
Lakeview was an amusement park.
But you could only go twice a year as an African American.
We only went to Lakeview on June 19th and August 4th. But we were the only ones. It was only open to blacks at that time.
Like, so the blacks and whites didn't intermingle?
No, there was no intermingling during those 2 days.
And while you were growing up, you had to sit in the back of the bus?
You were required to sit.
Lots of whites only?
Right.
But it wasn't uncomfortable because you kind of were raised up in that environment and you knew what you could do and what you couldn't do. And so you just sort of did it.
And that was an evolving, the degree of discomfort with that was evolving, as people got more and more into discrimination and racism and stuff like that, then they'd make a little noise about it. But it was not anything that was on anybody's mind 9 times out of 10. You didn't think about that. It's something you did. You resented it. The people would go to the south end to work in people's homes. They'd load the bus, board the bus on Greenwood, ride it out in the south end, work, get their pay, come back to the north side of town.
Hi, this is Kim again, and we're still at the National Packard Museum in Warren, Ohio, and you just heard the voice of my dad, Troy Page, and he was telling some of the stories from his childhood growing up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Please like, share, subscribe.